Well, we are officially reached the knockout stage. And what a way to begin the knockout stage than have two marquee matchups to begin the round of 16. And in many ways, these two matches definitely does not belong in the round of 16. You would think that when you have two teams that are coming into this World Cup considered favorites of winning the whole competition, that is France and Germany, or not Germany, of course. We don't know what happened to them, but Argentina, and they're facing each other in the round of 16. And in some way, it's definitely unfortunate the fact that you have two teams that are favored to win the tournament that is going to be facing each other so early in the tournament, and one of these teams will suffer a lot of disappointment when they get out of this tournament, and certainly there's going to be a lot of backlash that both of these teams could release if one of them do lose this game. But in terms of this marquee matchup between France versus Argentina, a couple of background about this match. This is the 12th time that both of these teams have faced, and that of course includes friendlies and just friendlies. They don't play other major tournament to each other. I don't think France has ever invited into the Copa America, or Argentina has ever invited in the Euros. This is the third meeting between both of these teams in the World Cup. Argentina have won both of them, and in fact, Argentina was actually the last team, the last South American team that France have lost to. France have not lost to a CONMEBOL team in 8 games, and the last time that they have lost was against Argentina back in 1978. So certainly history, you could say, that is kind of in favor of both teams too, because the French have not lost in a long time to a South American team, but the team that they last lost is the team that they're playing this time, which is Argentina. But if you look at how both of these teams coming into this game, both of these teams are coming into this game in some sort of bad form. I wouldn't say they're in a bad form because they kept losing game coming into this knockout stage. You know, France have won all 3 of their group stage game, or actually they didn't win all 3. They won their first 2 and then got a pretty forgettable 0-0 draw against Denmark, a game that I'm pretty sure everybody would not want to remember. And Argentina just barely, and I mean barely, got into this point of the competition with an 86-minute winner from Marcos Rojo that helped them to get into this stage. So it's really like both of these teams has kind of underachieved, and it's really a time for both of these teams to step up. And certainly there's going to be a lot more question about the French player stepping up than the Argentina player stepping up. I mean, for the Argentine, you know that Messi's probably going to have to eventually step up. So far in this tournament, he hasn't really been kind of making his mark. I mean, he only scored 1 goal in this tournament, and that was the last game against Nigeria. But he hasn't made any big mark so far, and in fact, the only time that we have talked about Messi in this tournament, besides the fact that he finally scored his first goal, is for the wrong reason. He missed a penalty in that game against Iceland. And for France, well, the question has always been about, this squad, and why in the world, with all this kind of talent they have with guys like Mbappe, Pogba, Griezmann, and all these kind of talented players on them, why in the world are they not really just blowing team away in the group stage? Is it because of the tactics that Didier Deschamps is using, and that I even compared them to kind of like the Manchester United of the World Cup, because they have all this talent on their disposal, but they just, for whatever reason, they just can't really figure it out. And, Didier Deschamps, in many ways, is like Jose Mourinho, pretty much. He gone with a very defensive tactics. He's kind of like holding the shackle on some of the attacking players, like Paul Pogba, for example. And, that is what it is. So, For me, this one is definitely a tough one to call. It's really going to come down to who will finally step up. When Messi finally stepped up and trying to help his country to move on into the next round when they really need him to? Or will France finally wake up and that this is actually the World Cup and that they can't really just pretend that they can just go through the 90 minutes in motion and hopefully they can nick a goal or maybe score a goal off of a bad refereeing decision like they have been at times this World Cup. So, at the end of the day, for me, if I had to make a prediction of this, I would give Argentina the a little bit of the edge out of this one because Argentina has faced a lot of pressurous situation in this tournament. They have been at the backs against their walls numerous times after they drew to Iceland and then lost to Croatia. And France, they have not had their backs against the wall throughout this tournament. It's been really kind of comfortable. And you wonder would that comfortability would come back to haunt France and that when the big moment happened, when they are the one that is have their backs against the wall, are they going to really finally turn up and finally respond to that one? So because Argentina has done pretty well so far in terms of pressurous situation, I would give the edge toward Argentina. But in many ways, this one could end up going in penalties. I mean, it's just that close between these two teams. And, I will be surprised if one of these teams kind of blow out each other. And if that is the case, then the other team that suffer that blowout will have a lot of stakes when they get back to their country, and a lot of media will be so angry that they got blown out or stuff like that. But surely this is going to be a tight one, and that there's probably just going to be one or two goals, or even going to penalty will really decide this one. Now, on the other hand, Portugal versus Uruguay is a marquee matchup also, but a lot of people are saying Uruguay is going to be favorites in this one because, Portugal, despite the fact that they have only lost one of their last 17 matches, and that one matches that they have lost was against Switzerland in the qualifying round. Many people are not saying that Portugal can make it through to the next round because many people think that Ronaldo just cannot carry this team anymore. Now, Ronaldo can potentially prove everybody wrong again by scoring another hat-trick in the round of 16, although it's very unlikely that he is going to do that. But I understand why Uruguay is going to come into this game as the favorites. And despite the fact that Uruguay did win perhaps the easiest group in the World Cup, that is Group A, they did it at the beginning, they kind of did it in a not very comfortable, kind of like a France way where they just kind of fought and kind of just grind their way to a victory. But it feels like as the tournament has gone on, Uruguay is actually getting stronger and stronger. I mean, if you look at the second game, which they also won 1-0 against Saudi Arabia, at least Luis Suarez finally got his mark going, and it turns out in the final game when they play against Russia, they really show that they are mean business and that this Uruguay team is started to get so much better. And as they come into this fourth game, with the fact that since they have got much stronger and since they have started to figure it out, it might be too much for Portugal to handle. I think what's interesting about this match is that both teams like to kind of defend in this match. Uruguay likes to have their defensive structure and then hit team on the counterattack. And that's the same thing with Portugal too. They also love to defend and hit on the counterattack. Most likely Uruguay will be the one that potentially could dominate possession, and Portugal will just sit back and try to hit on the counterattack and try to give the ball to Ronaldo, which they have done very well so far. But like I said, I really think that Uruguay, and as many people have said, Uruguay might be able to win this one. And keep in mind the fact that, despite the fact that Uruguay have lost 3 of the 4 round of 16 matches, and the only one they won was back in 2010, which I think it was South Korea, you know, for Portugal, eventually they're magic. And in terms of, you look at how Portugal is in this tournament, which is not very good, and it's kind of similar to what they did in the Euros, where they not only didn't even finish in first place, but they didn't even finish second. They only moved on into the knockout stage in the Euros because of the third place kind of rule that just implemented in the Euros, and I just don't know. You know, they also kind of barely got themselves in this knockout stage too. I just don't know if it's gonna be enough. Like, we also seen that so far in this tournament, a one-man team like Portugal is right now, with Ronaldo just kind of like carrying this team, is not gonna be enough to try to get you deep in the tournament. And unless if somebody else besides Ronaldo on this Portuguese team can finally show up, guys like Quaresma or Bernardo Silva or even Andre Silva can finally show up for this team and take the pressure off of Ronaldo, I think Portugal could be near the end of the road in this game against Uruguay. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of both of these games. Let me know in the comments below your prediction for both of these games. Of course, the winner of this game will move on to the quarterfinal, and both of these games will definitely have a winner at the end of the match, whether it's 90 minutes, extra time, or even in penalty kick shootout. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.